The glass cliff. The glass cliff is a phenomenon of women in leadership roles, such as executives in the corporate world and female political election candidates being more likely than men to fill leadership roles during a time of crisis and downturn when chances of failure is highest. After working for over a decade, I advanced to an exceptional role. I was still questioned with why was I there and other comments I don't wish to share. But from this experience, I gained so much. It's given me the necessary time to just think and reflect on the things that I actually want to do in life. As I took a break mentally and spiritually, my eyes began to open up to all the possibilities that lay available to me. It also gave me time to reflect. There are so many brilliant and talented people in the world, and I always like to think it's the risk takers that have the most fun on this journey. The unfortunate truth is not everyone will receive the guidance or support or even the recognition for a job well done. There are some people that take those risks that I mentioned earlier. And for women, sometimes that journey is different. And for women of color, even more so. My name is Danielle Meggoe, CEO of Sisters Talk LLC and author of Female Minority Report. Is this glass cliff by design? According to Business Insider, women's annual earnings compared to white men in 2018 showed white women make 80% of what white men made in 2018, followed by African American women with 66%, followed by Hispanic women of 58%, while Asian women came in at 97%. When we look at those percentages in terms of how many days needed to be worked for the next calendar year in order to match that same salary of a white man in 2018, the following showed. Asian women required 42 additional days in the next calendar year. White women required 100 additional days. African American women required 226 days, followed by Hispanic women who needed 307 calendar days to match that salary of a white man in 2018. That's nearly one calendar year. So how do we overcome these challenges? Preparedness, mentorship, support, mindset. Prepare for your success. Always aim high. As you break into your moment, whether it's by taking that risk or by using your tools to break that glass ceiling, make sure you've prepared your mind and your skill set. Another great one is mentorship. Make sure that along your path and your journey to success, you seek out a mentor if you don't already have one. Mentors are a great source of guidance. Also, they're a great source of identifying resources for you, and they're great for emotional support. Having someone to listen to you as you're going through whatever you're going through on your journey is so important, especially when it's someone who's already had the experience in your industry. They understand what you're going through. They know where you're heading. They know where you're trying to go. They've been there. They've done that. What better source to ask than someone who's already traveled this road? They're going to know what it takes for you to elevate to your destiny. On the topic of mentorship, I owe my guardian, Uncle Vincent, so many thank yous for so many days and nights that I kept him on the phone, venting and asking for guidance when I first entered the field that I started in after college. It wasn't a cakewalk. It was nothing like college. Everything was a complete change for me, a new city, a new job, a new career, a new future. And so just having that mentor to help me adapt to the changes and kind of show and tell me every day that, hey, you're going to look back at this moment and you're going to laugh. It's so true. It's so great to have a mentor. Next is mindset. What is your mindset about success? What is your attitude towards it? How do you view success? Every level that you elevate to, you're going to have to prepare yourself mentally for it. You're going to have the attitude that gravitates and attracts success. Every level of responsibility you encounter is going to require a certain level of mental fortitude to overcome the challenges and obstacles that you'll face, because they're going to be there waiting on you. With success comes much responsibility. You cannot be afraid of success. You have to know in your gut that this is what you're created to do, despite who believes in you. Regardless of the amount of dysfunctionality within your organization, you have to know who you are and what you're capable of. You also have to be prepared to walk alone. As you reach higher levels of success, you will find less support and more people depending on you. So get ready. Your ultimate success will depend on your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings about yourself. and how well you'll be able to maintain that golden moment. There is a book called Grateful and Greedy by Tamika Newman. I encourage you to read her book. That will change your mindset. Also, knowing what kind of environment you're going into helps. So make sure that you do your research before you actually accept the job offer, because a lot of times we get excited, but you need to know what you're going into. You always need to prepare yourself for what you're going to face, because there's no reason to get yourself involved with things that are going to cause you mental anxiety, stress. Unnecessary stress on you is unwanted and unwarranted. So I think that you do yourself a favor. Always research the companies before you go. Understand the company's history. That's so important, especially for the women of color that are entering these extremely high leadership roles, executive roles, CEO roles. It's always important to know what you're getting into and making sure that even if the corporation or the organization doesn't set you up for success, that you're able to do enough research so that you set yourself up for success. Support. We can all use support, especially realizing that you've been a part of this glass cliff or glass ceiling. Having a group of people who genuinely care about you and your well-being mentally, physically, that's the best thing that life has to offer, is a supportive group of people who actually genuinely care about you. You want people that care about your mental health. Being a successful woman is not glamorous. Do not be afraid or ashamed to call on those people that you consider as your supportive group or your support team. The Pressures of Becoming a Diamond by Asia Carroll is another good read that I encourage you guys to check out. She's used her support system in so many different ways to help her overcome extreme and devastating challenges in her life, and she's a very successful young African-American woman today as a result. I can remember as a little girl my true passion for space and how I would stare and gaze at the stars at night. This little girl from Oak Cliff, Texas, that just happened to learn physics because I was so obsessed with the way my teacher taught it in high school that I took that talent into college and I graduated with a bachelor's of science in physics. And as a result, I went on to test my knowledge in getting a master's in aeronautical science. And so I tell you my backstory because it's so ironic that when I was in high school, I was given the opportunity to participate in the Texas Aerospace Scholars Program located in Houston, Texas. And we were given 12 assignments to do. There were other students that were also invited to participate, but they didn't care about this program. And as an alternate, I took that position and I took that moment as my risk-taking moment. And I pursued it because I loved space. I completed all 12 assignments. I was able to fly into Houston and stay for a week at the NASA facility. And it was an amazing, life-changing opportunity for me. I believe truly that's what kept me on the course of going to college for a science-based major. So in part of my preparedness for a few of the positions that I had that I was completely unaware of because these were future opportunities, I was able to thoroughly understand physics, prepare myself by attending college and receiving a bachelor's in it, and I would open up the opportunities to become the geoscientist that I was for over 11 years. I made sure I understood every step on how to solve any and every possible physics equation. And so in that moment, I prepared myself. I prepared my young self for my future self. It was extremely disappointing to actually enter the corporate world and realize just how unfair life could actually be for a woman of color, despite the role that I played for the organization. It was disappointing to see how many people are truly left underneath this glass ceiling or over the glass cliff. Societies and corporations have an obligation to eliminate these challenges for women of color and people of color in general. How can we do that, you may ask? Provide resources for success. It's that simple. As the new female CEO enters the new corporation, make sure that you set her up for success and not for failure. Give her the information, the people, the support, and the team that she needs to rock it out and be successful for your corporation. Of course, these resources will differ depending on the industry and the company that the CEO works for. Stop placing minorities in a no-win situation. After the company has faced backlash, low dividends, lawsuits, and the list just goes on, How is it even possible that one would think that just one person can change the whole company and turn it around? It actually takes the efforts of everyone associated with the team, the organization, or the corporation. Because as we know, unfortunately, those women minority CEOs are the ones that have to do cleanup and are often the ones that are left for blame once the damage control is done. So for those individuals that are in control of hiring new staff, new CEOs, and new executives, keep this in mind. Am I setting this person up for failure or success? For those of you who are climbing that ladder of success and that are using your skillful tools to shatter and break that glass ceiling and making sure that you have that supportive team to uplift and support you from falling over that glass cliff, remember this. As you venture into your purpose, remember, you have the tools to crack that glass ceiling. You have the tools to crack that glass. There's only one way up. Develop the mental fortitude to endure rough time and have your support team to help you to weather the storm. Remain calm, logical, and do your best. Remember, it's a mindset. I hope you enjoyed this segment, The Glass Cliff.